Hello, my name is Abraham Klein, and this is Yinzer Club. Alright, and welcome to the program. Let's get this bad boy back on there. Welcome, as I said. Today's program is very special in that it is all about 2020 graduates. Got my little graduation cap here. I got it Walmart. But couldn't find one that actually fit on my head. But anyway, as I was saying, today's program is about the 2020 graduates. I obviously, as you know, the last 3 months of their year, school year, was basically canceled due to the current global situation. And so I wanted to just take a few minutes to sit down with a couple of those graduates. So we have two interviews today. One is with a young man by the name of Jacob Apioch, and the other is a young lady by the name of Victoria Sarah. And so I hope that it's a fun couple of interviews for you. And it'd be interesting just to sort of get their perspective on what's been going on. We'll be hearing everybody's perspective. It's interesting to hear how they feel about it. And, of course, obviously they can't speak for everybody. But again, hopefully it's something that you'll enjoy watching. So without further ado, here is our first interview. And we'll just sort of go into the second interview right after that. So here we go. Hello, Yinzers. My name is Abraham Klein. My guest today is a gentleman by the name of Jacob Apioch. I've pretty much known him his entire life, and now he's on the verge of a very big event in his life. Unfortunately, a lot of events have sort of disrupted some of the more, important aspects, I guess you could say, of that. We're talking to a young man who is a 2020 graduate. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Talking about the effects of COVID-19, how it's had on his life as a 2020 graduate, and sort of get to know a little bit about him in the process. So, Mr. Jacob Apioch, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Abe?
I'm good. So, yeah, as I talked about in the introduction, you are a 2020, graduate, a presumed 2020 graduate. So,
I was born on August 2nd of 2002, so I just made the cutoff. And it is my senior year. If I would have been born a month later, this would only be my junior year.
So how are your feelings about that? Are you glad you're a 2020 graduate, or you wish you'd have been?
I have mixed emotions about it. There's two ways to look at it. You can either look at it in the perspective that you're going to get to graduate a year before and you get to move on with your life.
Yeah.
Or you get to look at it in the perspective of, you can do another year of school, another year of sports. So there's goods and bads to both.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, you were born August 1st, 2002. That's actually amazing that we're even having a conversation with somebody born in 2002 about graduation. It wasn't that long ago. I remember graduating, and of course this year is my 10th year of graduation. So it's kind of, it's kind of weird talking about somebody your age graduating. But
I very much so believe it. I got a little hat given to me right here.
Oh, lovely.
It's a sparkly graduation hat.
Yeah.
You can put that on.
Yeah. So yeah, let's sort of go through your years of school. Where did you go to school and stuff like that?
I currently go to the Altman Baptist Church Academy.
Okay.
And I've gone there my whole schooling. I've played sports for Bible Baptist in Latrobe for 2 years, and also for Calvary Baptist of Clymer.
Okay. How would you describe your time in school? What was your feeling about, especially, obviously, you went to a unique type of school. It's not a big school. Obviously, I went there too, and I think the most students that were ever there when I was in school was maybe about 8 or 9. So it's probably similar for you.
The biggest year that we ever had whenever I was there, we did have 12 one year.
12, okay.
And that was the biggest year that I remember. So it's a smaller school, but that definitely gives more for one-on-one with teachers. So it's not necessarily a bad thing for it to be smaller, but it's definitely been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a grandparent as a teacher the whole way up through. I mean, not all of my teachers, but, you know.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I know Mrs. Apioc. Obviously, your last name's Apioc. That'd be your grandma.
Yeah, she's taught me history and science through the years, and this year I only needed 3 credits to graduate, 3.5.
Nice.
So I didn't need a history credit, so I took a nutritional science course.
Oh, nice. That's cool. So yeah, and as you mentioned, one thing that you got to do that I didn't participate in when I was in school was you actually got to play extracurricular sports for other schools. Tell us about that experience.
Basically, obviously our school is too small to have a sports team on there, and I went to pastors and coaches of other Christian schools in the area and said, hey, I'm part of the school that is not able to have a team, and I basically asked them if I could play, and I was able to play for them. The condition was that if we ended up making any sort of state championship, if I wasn't enrolled in their school, I wasn't eligible to play.
Oh, really?
But we had a good time throughout the season, and it was definitely a really good experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you once you are graduated, because apparently, even though we've had this whole COVID-19 experience, you will eventually get your credits. You will get your diploma. You may not necessarily get the actual ceremony like we'd like to have, but you will be going on from here. What are your plans after this?
Right now, my plans are currently to keep working at the Sunoco like I have been. Learn a little bit more about that, and just see where it takes me.
Yeah, and I've noticed. Obviously, I've known you your entire life. You've been a bit of a hustler your entire life. You've sold cars, you've done car washing, done all kinds of stuff. Is that, kind of an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, recently I've been doing my own auto detailing, Apioc Auto Spa, and I've been making good money with that. I actually have another car that I'm detailing tomorrow. So yeah, it's definitely a good side thing for me on top of everything else I've been doing. And I've actually started a new thing. It's not actually like a public thing yet, but I'm actually painting the car right now.
Oh wow!
So
cool.
I'm just trying everything out, seeing what I like.
Yeah. So those are some of your hustles. Those are some of the things that you've had the opportunity to do. Obviously, you work for your dad at the Clarksburg Auto Repair. What do you pump? You mostly pump gas, right?
I pump gas. I've been doing tires and brakes and rotors and oil changes in the back too whenever I'm not pumping gas. Just learning the trade.
Yeah, okay. But outside of all that, what are some of your hobbies?
Like I said, I like to play basketball. On top of basketball, I like to fish, and I like cars. I like dealing with cars and everything like that,
Yeah. Of course, hunting, fishing, all that's a bit of a family tradition with you guys. I know your dad, your grandpa, they all like to go out. I think you guys even have your own camping place you go to, right?
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, getting back to the whole graduation thing, as we started seeing the effects of COVID-19 coming to the United States, obviously we'd been hearing about it probably for a good 2 months prior to us even having our first case in the U.S. We'd heard about COVID-19 in China and spreading throughout the world. What were your thoughts when it first landed in the United States and they first started talking about the possibility of having to possibly close down schools and businesses?
Honestly, at first, I was a bit skeptical. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think that when I went into school in the beginning of March that, this is going to be my last day going to school ever. I just didn't think that thought. I was just like,
yeah.
But it was. And you can look at the factors that made that, and you can blame this person, blame that person, but honestly, it was meant to be like this for a reason.
Yeah.
So, You just got to roll with the punches and keep on going.
Yeah. And what was your last day of school?
I'd have to look at it.
Yeah.
It was in the beginning of March sometime, but yeah, I mean, I have been doing pamphlets of work at home and everything, finishing my education.
Yeah.
In which case, I should be done by the end of May. I should have all of my credits gained.
Nice. So, what were your initial thoughts when they closed down the schools? Like, did you think it was going to last the entire school year?
No, I thought, at first, oh, okay, this is like a 2-week thing. At the end of 2 weeks, we're going to come back to school. We're going to be a little bit behind, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Then it was a month, and I was thinking, okay, maybe at the end of the month, we're going to go. And then I was just like, well, no, they're not going to send us back now.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I probably would have gotten less exposure at school than I would have at work because, I have to deal with people hands-on. But,
yeah.
I've been taking precautions, wearing my gloves and a mask, and doing everything I can.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, I mean, you're a immunocompromised person, as I am. So we're like prime targets for the whole coronavirus.
Yes, exactly. You just gotta hope and pray that nothing happens to you. That's all you can really do.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd say, despite being immunocompromised, as you've mentioned, you've had the opportunity to play basketball. You've had opportunities to be involved in sports. So I mean, you definitely don't let that keep you away from your passions, for sure.
Well, so I'll tell you what, if you could totally let it keep you away, because I was this year when I was playing, I was pretty much playing the whole game. My coach knew what I had, and he was good about taking me in and out, even if I didn't want to go out or such. But I definitely had to work at it probably more than another person would. I would spend time at the gym running and stuff, because if you build yourself up to it, then you can do it more.
Yeah.
So, I definitely had to work a little bit harder at it, but I have no regrets. It was a lot of fun.
And what were your feelings when they officially made it known that this school year was not going to be completed? And, well, as far as going to school was not going to be completed, and you guys were going to have to go some other route?
It was a bittersweet. It's sweet in the sense of when you've gone to school for that long, eventually towards the end of it, your goal is to not have to go back. That is your goal.
Yeah.
So it was sweet in that aspect. I did want to play baseball this year because it was my senior year.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, let's do it,
Yeah.
But that ended up not happening because of this, so that was a little bit rough. But,
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is, like I said, and I just, you just got to deal with it.
Yeah. I know a lot of students have talked about, because there's a lot of events that happen towards the end of the school year. A lot of them go to, like, proms and different things like that. Obviously, we don't have prom at our school, but what are some of the other, like, stuff that I guess you could say I don't want to say missed out on, but I guess you could say were canceled as a result of this?
Yeah, it's just like the baseball season and the graduation ceremonies and everything like that, and just the last days at school where everybody pretty much knows they're done and they're just not doing anything really and just having a good time realizing, oh, this is it. But I would say that it's all in how you look at it. We were supposed to miss out on this for some reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really all, you can do. You just got to work with it.
Yeah. I remember my senior year, I used to drive to school a lot. I think you probably drove to school a lot yourself, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. But on my last day, I actually rode the school bus home. You never actually rode a bus, did you?
No. We were neighbors with the principal, so we always rode with him to school.
Yeah.
And we never really got to ride a bus. But my last day, I was going to ride with him to school for old time's sake, but then it never did happen.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I was going to ask because I had planned, because like I drove to school most of the time, and maybe I didn't have a lot of gas sometime, I'd ride the bus, but I wanted to do that as sort of like my last hurrah, where like, did you have other plans aside from riding to school for your last day?
One thing I really wanted to do was stand at the front door and just take like a giant step out, because I know I had seen so many people that went through and graduated from there, on the last day, we would walk to the front door, and we'd all gather around, and they'd take one giant step out the door, and it was just like, that's it, we're done. I never really got that giant step, but
yeah, it's kind of sad the way it was like almost kind of unceremoniously taken away from you, because I remember, because I graduated, it's been 10 years, but I still remember that feeling, that last day, you're walking out for that last time, and it's a surreal feeling, to know that you've gone through all of that, you've done all the schoolwork, and now this is it, you're done. And it's a bit.
And in some ways, I feel that I'll still get that feeling, but the feeling is spread out over a course of time, so it's not all like here it
right.
is. It's just spread out.
Yeah. So, but I assume you obviously have a lot of different friends that are expected to be graduating this year. What has been their reaction? From them? What are you hearing from the other folks?
I have a wide range of seniors that are, we're friends and stuff. I have some who are like, oh, I'm so happy with this. I didn't want to do all that anyways. Some people are literally torn up. Oh, no, I'm not going to get my senior prom. I'm not going to get to do it. But it ranges. It all really depends. But I just want to tend to look at it as, it's just supposed to happen for reasons. Just gotta roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta take it for what it is, yeah. And, and I know, like, you've seen the video I posted recently where I sort of poked fun at you guys, but at the same time,
That was a great video. I did see
yeah,
that.
but at the same time, I do feel for you guys. It's gotta be...
You have to be able to laugh at it, though.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah. What was I going to talk about? I guess we already talked about where you go from here, but again, talking about all this, like, as being this special year, because obviously next year we don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully next year kids will get to graduate, but you almost get a special feeling as though like this is a special year in time where like our group we faced a pandemic, we faced all these issues. We graduated differently than everybody else. Everybody else graduated, they got the ceremony, but we were different. Do you get that sort of feeling?
Yeah, it is definitely something that you're going to tell your grandkids about someday. I was in the COVID-19 pandemic and I graduated, but I didn't actually graduate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's interesting because, like, I have grandparents, great-grandparents, and obviously you have too, that went through the not 2018, the 1918 pandemic that happened, and now it's almost like we're getting to experience some sort of historical event. I mean, we literally are experiencing a historical event. So,
definitely.
So, yeah. But finally, I guess in closing, like, what is your big takeaway from all of this, as far as like it? How about this? Let's say you're speaking to the next generation. You're speaking to future generations. What would you say is the big moral or lesson that you've learned from all this as a senior in high school?
I would say that the major takeaway is, even though you may not be enjoying your high school or your elementary school or your middle school or whatever grade you're in, just do it and don't overlook things, because you really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So just take it, and it's a memory. You're going through it. Just live it.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. A lot of wisdom from a young kid. Well, you're 18 yet, or are you still 17?
I'm 17. I've actually bumped my graduation party to the day before my birthday. There's going to be a combined graduation 18-year-old party.
Oh, man. I hope we get to have it. I definitely hope we get to have it. So.
Me too. I hope so, too.
Yeah, so. But yeah, I definitely wish the best for you, and be praying for you and all the other graduates, because I know, I mean, obviously you as a group have overcome a lot as far as having to deal with different things as far as the COVID-19 is concerned, and I'm sure you guys will continue to do great. So, but thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And I know you can't necessarily speak for all 2020 graduates, but it's nice to hear your perspective for sure. Hello, Yinzers. My name is Abraham Klein, and today I'm here with Victoria Sarah. She is a 2020 graduate, and today we're just sort of highlighting graduates and sort of just going through that whole scenario. So, Victoria, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good. So, for those who don't know, Victoria, I've known her pretty much literally her whole life. And so that's why it's kind of weird to hear that she's graduating. So, first of all, how do you feel about the idea of getting to graduate?
It's absolutely terrifying.
Terrifying. Okay, that's not exactly the answer I was expecting.
Well, I mean, I'm excited, but it's a terrifying step into the real world.
Hey, Abraham, you're gonna have to start from the beginning again.
Okay.
For some reason, when I clicked the microphones off in here, it clicked them off on your thing. I'm glad I checked it before you got too far.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. So sorry about that.
No, that's fine. So I get to start now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Hello, Yinzers. My name is Abraham Klein, and today I am here with Victoria Sarah. She is a 2020 graduate, and that's sort of the theme of today's podcast. We're talking about 2020 graduates and talking to 2020 graduates. We already talked to one. Now we're talking to our second one. And Victoria is, I've known her entire life. And so, like I said before, it's interesting to see that you're actually graduating. Let's sort of go into that question again before we got interrupted. How does it feel to be graduating?
Like I said before, it's absolutely terrifying. I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to get out there and express myself as, somebody new, but it's also really terrifying, taking that steps without parents or teachers, somebody guiding you the whole life,
Yeah. So Victoria Sarah, you're obviously you have two brothers.
Yes.
You were actually smack dab in the middle between two brothers. What was that like for you?
It was honestly rough. I kind of grew up as a mud and dirt kind of girl. I've always gone out fishing and hunting with my brothers and just enjoyed things like that. But as I grew up, I kind of got into more of the girly type of things of, makeup or dressing like a girl or whatever. But it was nice. I was able to beat up on my brothers and.
Oh yeah. I witnessed that a few times. But yeah. So you're a 2020 graduate, as is the theme here. Before we get into all of that, tell us a little bit about your life growing up and getting into school and what that experience was like for you.
Okay, so I had always grown up in a Christian home, and I'm so blessed to be where I am right now. And I've gone to multiple schools just because of different moving situations or just different schools closing or things like that. I've gone to Christian schools, public schools. I've been all over the country, but this year I'm graduating from Bible Baptist Christian Academy in Latrobe.
Okay.
And I have gone there since the middle of 8th grade year, and I've stayed there, and I've enjoyed that. I love that school so much, so it's kind of hard leaving that, but yeah, my home life has been great, and I love where I am.
Yeah. So where did you start going to school? Was that in Shalakta? Was that where you first started going?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And that would have been where your one grandfather was the pastor, right?
My nana and papap. My papap was the pastor there, and he was also the principal and administrator, and my nana was my teacher for 2 years.
Yeah. So what was that experience like for you?
It was really nice, especially because I was so scared to start school. So having somebody that I'm related to as my teacher all the time was really nice, and it made me have a love for school. If anybody who knows me knows that I enjoy and just love going to school. So I think that experience kind of made me love school, was getting to go and see the people that I love every day.
Yeah, okay. So now you are part of, I guess, what we would call an infamous year.
Yes.
A very special year, because I believe last year your brother graduated.
He did.
Right? Ty graduated last year, and now this year you're graduating. So do you have any sort of sense of jealousy that he got the whole ceremony thing and now you're having this different type of year?
Yes, I definitely expressed some jealousy. He got to finish out everything with like the perfect year. He got to do everything for one last time, and if I would have known last year was my last year, I would have you know been a little bit more thankful for it. But yes, jealousy was definitely there.
Yeah, yeah. So what's been your personal reaction to everything that's been going on? Obviously, like a lot of people have had to, sort of be laid off from work, and some people have had to, do a lot of different changes. But this being your senior year, like if you're a junior this year, you'll have the opportunity to at least come back next year.
Yes.
This was your last opportunity. First of all, what was your thought when it first happened, and what's been your thought since?
Well, I was just kind of like, is this really happening? Like, what's really going on? I didn't really understand like the whole hype about it. I was kind of like, oh, this will go away soon, probably, especially because we're such a small school where I go to. I was like, go away. And then sadness started to creep in, and I was just like, we're starting to lose things little by little, and now it's just like, I'm ready for it to be over. I've accepted the fact that I'm not going to get those things back, so I'm just ready for it to be over so I can hopefully do something during the summer.
Yeah, yeah. So did you initially believe that it was going to happen, or were you kind of skeptical that you were going to be basically losing the year?
No, I was very skeptical. I was just like, we're probably going to get it back. It's okay, don't worry. And then people kept telling me it's going to happen. I was like, no, it's fine. We're going to have it.
Yeah, okay. What's been the reaction from some of like the other students that you've been with?
There's just been a lot of complaining. Everyone's just kind of mad in every way about we don't get to go back and just see each other anymore. And I'm very close to all of the students from first grade to senior. I know them all. I'm friends with them all. So I know they're all pretty disappointed to not be able to see me or hang out with me for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Now, were there any like particular like events, programs, sports, whatever have you that you ended up missing out on as a result of this?
Yes. Every year my school has a convention, which is a type of competition that we go to for singing or sports and arts and different types of things like that. And that unfortunately had to get canceled. And the worst part about that was we had spent months in preparation for that, and we were prepared to go to this competition, and then it got canceled. So all this work kind of felt like it.
Yeah. So you were actually preparing, getting ready to go, and it was basically. Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Where was I going with that? Trying to think. Give me a second. Man. So, I'm forgetting what I was going to ask you. Oh yeah. So you had mentioned that you were you've had made a lot of transitions throughout your school year. You obviously went to the Christian school when you first started. You were also in public school and then ended up back in Christian school. What was that transition like for you to go from Christian school, public school, back to Christian school?
It was definitely difficult. The atmospheres are way different. They're astronomically different. But I don't know, like going from the first Christian school to the first public school was weird, but it was okay. It was a decent transition. I was okay, and I was able to kind of get out there into the public school type of atmosphere. But then going back from the public school to this Christian school was crazy, and it took me months, almost a year, to actually be able to transition between those two different lifestyles and the different types of classes and the different types of friends I'd be around. And it definitely took a blow on me academically, and I was behind for a little bit, but I eventually caught up.
Okay. Yeah. And so getting back to this year, like how did obviously things dramatically changed for you once you could no longer go back to the school. How did like the teaching and everything like that, what was the transition there?
Oh, that was definitely difficult, especially for us seniors, I know, because we're in harder subjects and we need teachers there to understand it, but basically for our school, we were still able to do the schoolwork at home with our own booklets, but we had to set up FaceTime calls and different times to go into the school to get different booklets, and it was just a lot more complicated to try to call and get help than it would be to just call a teacher over.
Right. And outside of school, I believe you were working at Goodwill. That was your job, and that was deemed unessential, wasn't it?
It was.
Okay, so you not only lost school, you also lost your job. What was that like for you?
Oh, I was so sad because, work was kind of my place to de-stress after all my school and just kind of be away from my home for a little bit and just kind of a time filler, and hey, I got money out of it. So
yeah, exactly.
It was definitely kind of like very saddening that I couldn't go back, but hopefully it'll open up here soon.
Yeah. So now that when are you considered to officially be graduating?
Our graduation is sometime in August, I'm sure, but I just finished school yesterday, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I heard some, like, they won't actually have, like, a particular ceremony, but they'll be getting their diploma sent to them and stuff like that. So I wasn't sure what the process was going to be for you.
Well, for us, it's a lot easier because we only have 3 graduates, so we're able to work out between our schedules and different social distancing things that we're able to actually hold a graduation for us, which I'm so thankful for. So
yeah.
It'll sometime be in August.
Sometime in August. Okay, that'd be exciting.
Yes.
You planning on, like, hopefully by that time there should be, hopefully things will be more open. Do you have, like, plans of, like, a big extravagant party or what's
Yes. The moment quarantine gets lifted, I am first of all holding a no more quarantine party, and then after that holding a graduation party.
Okay.
I miss my friends.
So 2 parties.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That sounds exciting. So then once you're done with school and you're officially an adult, I should say. What's the plans from here?
After I graduate, I am going to college. Where I'm going to college, I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of debating between a few, but I know I'm going for elementary education.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what sort of drew you to that?
I just always loved being around kids and helping kids. One of my greatest joys in school was the opportunity to go to the younger kids' class and help them do reading. So this quarantine has definitely taken that from me. I enjoyed that every day of my life, going down there and helping them. And I was just always drawn to helping little kids. So
yeah, all right, that's cool. And so then you have one more brother who's still going to be in school, Luke. So what's his feelings about, like, the fact that, again, like, Ty got to graduate, and then now most likely, unless there's another pandemic when he graduates, like, what's been his reaction to all this?
No, he's just so sad. He doesn't get to see his friends anymore. But I mean, he doesn't enjoy going to school as much as I do, so he is happy to be home. He's just sad about not seeing his friends.
Yeah. So I guess a question that's probably asked a lot of seniors: what would you say to those coming up behind you that maybe you've obviously gone through something that maybe a lot of students, well, literally no students have ever had to go through.
Yeah.
So what would you say to them to consider with their coming graduations, I guess you would say?
Definitely cherish every second you have. You may hate this certain class or you may not like this person, but try to open yourself up and become that person's friend, or try to get invested in this class that you don't like, because one day it may be taken from you. You don't know that. And just enjoy it.
Yeah. Now, despite the fact that obviously, pretty much every graduate I've talked to is obviously upset that they missed the remainder of the year, but you guys almost feel like you have, like, this special, like, bond or, like,
oh yes,
special, like, thing about you where, like, we're the pandemic graduates.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I guess from here we'd say congratulations, even though it was during a pandemic. And we certainly wish you the best, and we'll definitely be praying for you as you go forward with everything that you go through. By the way, I got you your present for.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll have to send that to you at some point. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be getting a lot of those kind of graduation gifts, right?
Yeah, right. All coming in the mail.
Oh yeah. But yeah, in all seriousness, I do wish you guys the best and hope everything continues to go well for you. And I guess that's where we'll end it. Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you, Victoria. I appreciate you coming on. And we'll see you again sometime. Okay.
All right. Thank you for letting me come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been Abraham Klein here today with Victoria Sarah talking about the 2020 graduates. And of course, definitely leave them your love in the comments section below. And I'm sure they'll be glad to hear it, get all the support they can have.
All right, well, that's our show. We want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to tune in for our next episode coming out soon. I believe it's going to be episode number 8, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, also don't forget to check out all the other great programs here on idiotradio.net. We got the Triple B and Double D Heavyweight Podcast. We got the Todd DeFazio Show, the Triple B Experience, the Beard on Food, syndicated from my ham radio. We got a sports show coming up. We got a tattoo show coming up. Best of the Double D Show, Best of the Village Idiot Radio Show, and who knows what else we got. We got lots of content coming up here on Idiot Radio. And, of course, don't forget to keep tuning in to Yinzer Club. Lots of great interviews, lots of great content here coming in the future. So definitely don't forget about us. Also, don't forget to go on to idiotradio.net. Get your Yins Have a Great Day hat, as well as shirt and polo shirt. And go on to yinzerclub.com. Check out all the other great Yinzer Club merch. This has been Abraham Klein saying, Yins, have a great day, and congratulations to the class of 2020.